Welcome back everyone to another episode on the Project Nodenium server. Today we are starting out in front of our starter base, and you may notice a few different changes from when we ended the last episode. Over on the left we have a road which leads along the side of our starter base and over through the woods, and up over here we now have the nether portal on this side of the ravine, so that makes it a lot easier to get back and forth between the shopping district and the other locations on the server. And we built this road during a stream, and that was a lot of fun to do. But that's not the only thing that we were doing during a stream. If we go down our staircase, you can see we've extended it over here, and we have the start of a sugarcane farm in this room. And then over here you can see we've done a little bit of digging and a little bit of building, so we've made a little bit of progress on expanding this starter base. But not only did we expand our starter base, but we also did some other things during the stream. So over in this chest right here, you can see we went to the end and we've got a bunch of shulker boxes, we've got a bunch of elytra, we've got a bunch of weapons and tools, as well as some armor. And if you would like to see what we've been up to during the streams, they are on the channel and you can take a look at those and see everything that we've been up to. But enough with what we've been doing so far. Let's take a look at what we're going to be doing today. So I think for today we've got two goals. The first goal will be to extend the staircase and start getting the areas for the different farms that we need to add in all ready to go. But the second thing that we are going to be doing is building a bridge, and we need to have that bridge run from over here where our starter base is to over to this area where we are going to be building our main base for the season. But we're not just going to be building the bridge, we also need to do a little bit of decorating. And so we're going to do a decorative build over on this side, we're going to do a decorative build over on this side, and I am super excited for the design that I have, which you probably saw in the thumbnail. But this is going to be a big project, and we are going to need to get a lot of resources for that collected up. And to help collect up those resources, I think it would be good to have a couple of extra farms built in addition to our sugarcane farm that we already have. So I've got a few materials together. Let's get this staircase built. So not only have I built the staircase, but I've also decorated some rooms. So we've got the sugarcane room here, which is basically just deep slate and tough bricks. Down here, we've got two rooms. So over on the left, we've got this room. And I think what we're going to do is have a basalt farm right in here. While over on this side, we are going to be putting a mud farm in this room. We've also got this room right here, which is a little bit of a narrow room. And then the last one that I got decorated is this one right here. And I think we're going to use this room for a super smelter. But now that we have these rooms all decorated up, it's time to start building these farms, and that means we need to get a few things together. And I've now finished getting a few things together, so we should be all set to go with getting these farms built. The first farm that we are going to build today is a basalt generator, and this is a design that I came up with myself, and I've built it many times before. So the basalt generator is now built, and we can turn it on, and you can see how it works here. So we just have it generating the basalt, the pistons push it over, and then we can break these. And then as we break the basalt, it'll go into the hoppers and into a chest, which is right over here. And we've collected quite a bit of basalt for just the few seconds that I've been using this generator. Over behind it, we've got the switch that'll turn it on and off. Underneath these blocks, there is a hopper clock, which comes up through where this redstone torch is. A rather simple design, but it gets the job done. Next up, we're going to go over across from where we have the basalt generator, and we're going to build a mud farm right in this room. The mud farm that we are building is designed by Mango, and a link is included in the description down below if you would like to build it yourself. All right, so we've got this mud farm all ready to go. We just need to load in the last few glass bottles here, which we are going to use to turn dirt into mud. And I need to grab a couple of shovels as well, because if we use a diamond shovel for this farm, it goes too fast and messes everything up. So we are going to use some stone shovels for this. And I think if we place a dirt block here, and then if we break it, should be able to place the second one. And we're not getting that working. Not a great start. So I think what I forgot to do was to power this repeater here. So what we need to do is put a block here, put a torch here, put this repeater back, then break that block. And now if we give this a try, Get the dirt into our offhand. And now if we place the block there, no. All right, after some more checking, I forgot to put a redstone dust right on top of this. Such a simple thing. So now let's give this a try. There we go. So it seems like it doesn't quite do it so that everyone gets turned into mud, maybe? Okay, after a little bit more testing, it does look pretty good. We do have just all mud in there. That's a good sign. Now it's just going to be doing this forever. Except not yet, because we've got more farms to build. The next farm that we're going to build is a lava farm because I want to use the lava to power our super smelter. And this should be pretty easy to build. So we're going to put cauldrons in the floor all the way around like this. Above the cauldrons, we're going to put a row of blocks. Underneath the blocks, we're going to place some dripstone. Then place some glass down the middle. And then we're going to put some trapdoors around the exterior to hold in all of the lava. And now we can start placing in the lava just along the top here. The lava is now filled in, and it looks like we are already starting to get some of the cauldrons with the lava. So our lava supply is now unlimited, which is a good thing because we are going to need it to power our super smelter, which I don't have quite enough hoppers for. So let's go get those. And we can now finish getting those all placed in. Then we need to place in some rails, place in even more rails, and add in some minecarts. Now at some point we may switch out these minecarts with chests so that we have a loading system that will automatically load it in, and we can have a lot more storage above it to have more items be going through the smelter. But for right now, I think these chests are going to be just fine. What we do need now though are a bunch of buckets, because without these buckets we're not going to be able to get the lava, which I guess is pretty obvious. But just look, in the short amount of time that it took to build that super smelter, we have a bunch of lava in here that we are going to be able to collect. That's a pretty good start. So this chest is now filled. Let's go ahead and send it off, and they should be going into the furnace. We've got a pretty good one. Yep, all of them have it. And this is now ready to go. So we now have a mud farm, a basalt generator, a lava farm, and a super smelter, which means we're now ready to start building our main project for today. And this project is going to require a lot of blocks because we are going to be building up a lot over on this side. We have something that's going to be built over on this side. And then of course we've got the bridge, which is going to span this chasm right here, which is a pretty good size. And I think in total we're going to need about 15,000 blocks, which is going to require a little bit of work to get collected up. And right now, all of my pickaxes need some repairs. Let's get these repaired, which they now are. So let's get started collecting these materials. While I'm collecting up these resources, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my plan for how I will be releasing videos this season on the Project Nodenium server. In the past, I've split the videos that I've released between my single player world and what I've done on the server, but this season I'm going to switch it up a little bit. As I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, I've been using streams to do a little bit of background work on the base, and I'm going to continue doing that throughout the season. So every Monday and Wednesday, I will be streaming for a couple of hours, and I'm going to continue using those streams to be adding in little details in the background. But the videos that I do for this season will be on the major builds, like our project for today. If it was up to me, I'd be doing 2 videos every week, one in my single player world and one on the server. But every video takes about 20 to 30 hours on average, and I have a full-time job, which also takes a big chunk of time. By doing the streams, I think I'll be able to put a lot more time into this base, which means it's going to not only have a lot more detail, but be more finished than my base from the last 2 seasons. If you'd like to follow along with what I do on the streams, I would recommend joining my Discord server because I provide updates there on the times for when I'll be streaming, or if there's any changes to my schedule, I'll also post it there. But that's not all you'll find there. You'll also be able to find schematics for builds, as well as some hints for future projects. And the best part is that you can join for free. You don't need to be a member, you don't need to be on Patreon, you can just follow the link in the description and join from there. But enough about that, let's get back to our project for today. Well, it took me just about all day to get all of these materials collected up and crafted up and ready to go. We've got different things in here. We've got deep slate, we've got tough, we've got pale oak logs, we've got concrete, we've got glass, but there are 2 things that we still need to collect. But fortunately, we don't have to go far to collect it because we can just take this stack of deep slate diamond ore and this stack of deep slate lapis ore. Before we can start building, we are going to need to move these bookshelves because this is right where we're going to be working. But with all of the shulker boxes laid out behind me, I think we're ready to get started with the building. So let's get going. which is now completed, and we've also got a couple of decorative statues, and I think that this entrance into our starter base is pretty grand. This is also a lot safer to walk across than the dark oak planks that we were using before. Standing at the base of the statues, you get a sense of the scale, and you can see the diamond ore and the lapis ore, which were used to decorate the collar of the statues. Probably the most expensive blocks in the entire build so far. I've also gone around and replaced the trees that we cut down to make room for the statue while we were building, and I think having the forest along the edge of the road just adds to the atmosphere of this build. This is our starter base, so we are not going to be doing much more around it. Most of what we do here is going to be down in the ground, because the building that we are going to do for the rest of the season is going to take place on that side of the ravine. But I think that is where we are going to leave it for today. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And until next time, see you later.